sauerkraut. Bubble tea and sauerkraut. Bubble tea and sauerkraut. Bubble tea and sauerkraut.
At least here I'm still allowed to do my favorite thing, you know? But wait, first I have to do my other favorite thing.
씻어, 씻어. 씻어, 씻어.
Very good. Hello, and welcome to your favorite COVID lockdown podcast, Bubble Tea and Sauerkraut. I am Matthias, aka Sauerkraut.
I'm Van, aka Bubble Tea.
So, full disclosure, we are recording this on a Monday instead of our usual Friday. And we might be, or at least I might be, slightly tipsy. Because it is just this kind of Monday. The getting slightly tipsy while making dinner Monday.
Exactly, because it's Monday.
It's Monday.
Huh?
I think that's all you need.
You have to drink
excuse.
on Monday.
So before we start today's topic, there's one, like I think I kind of want to get away from this. Like, oh, what happened this week? Because nothing exciting happens this week anyways. Or like any weeks. But the one thing, and a lot of things that happened this week are related to today's topic. But the thing I want to mention today is our new favorite show, which is Friends.
Friend.
I never thought I would be one of those people who rewatches Friends. I'll be there for you.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do it either.
Yes, no, because I actually never watched it before. I mean, I've watched some episodes, but it's always very difficult in Taiwan to watch it, before Netflix start streaming it.
Really? Okay.
You can, I think you can already watch it like illegally or something.
No, just remember in Germany, like it was like shown all the time, like on Pro7 for all the Germans out there. It like showed up every day, and like when, like I think for the last couple seasons, they made like a huge thing out of it. You know, like I showed it during prime time, like each episode, like one episode each week and stuff like this. But the main thing is like, I still think it's funny. I think it's funnier now than I thought when I first watched it. Maybe because now we're actually the age that the people in the show are in.
Yeah, like 30 something.
I don't know how old they are supposed to be, but I guess kind of 30. But then, no, I think they're supposed to be younger because they didn't run for like 10 years. So they're probably supposed to be like 25, but
something like that.
I feel like their issues are much closer to today's 30-year-olds issues than today's 25-year-olds issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Are you touching that? No. Okay.
I think that's just tram.
Oh, that's the tram. Okay. Yeah, getting back to Friends. And also, I remember before I like saw a lot of articles in the past where it was like, Friends is so problematic. Friends did not age well. We did not get to the problematic episodes yet.
Not yet. I mean, we are only at the first season.
Yeah, we're only first season. But it's funny. It's kind of sad how funny I think it is.
And it's so fashionable.
That's another thing that's really interesting. Like the first season I Googled it was 1994. And everything they're wearing is cool again.
So cool.
Like almost 30 years later. Like 23 years later. Wait, no, wait. Am I completely wrong?
25, 28 something.
No, it's like 1994.
It's 26.
26 years later. Is it?
No, 24.
Anyways, many decades later. It is fashionable again. But so if you need something like us to just watch while you're having dinner and you don't want to talk to each other, then just watch
Be my
Friends.
guest.
I highly recommend it. It's a lot better than I thought it would be.
Or when your husband is working and you have nothing else to do, you just watch Friends. Or when your husband's playing video games and you have nothing else to do, watch Friends.
You can always play video games with your husband. Also, by the way, quick side note, I rediscovered World of Warcraft Classic. So if anyone out there wants to play with me, hit me up.
Then I'll watch Friends.
And your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife can then video chat with Ben and watch Friends while we play video games.
Like this. Like how the Gen Z.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Wait, I said like, oh, we're not going to talk about what happened this week, and now we're talking about what happened this week longer than any other episode. But yeah, I saw this. I think it was an Instagram reel where a lady said nowadays when kids say "call me," they don't do this anymore. So like like with your thumb and your pinky to like show that what it looks like a phone, but they're like making a gesture if you're holding a smartphone. I don't know if that is true.
So crazy.
I think none of the people who listen to this are Gen Z.
No, definitely not because I'm old to them.
So I can't even tell people like, oh, let us know in the comments. Maybe one of the like 2 people that listens to this that is not our friends.
Yeah, or you have any like cousin or nephews that's
that's
happen to be
true.
Gen Z, then you can ask them,
I have to ask my nephew then. The only one who's old enough to tell me.
I guess.
I'll see. Okay, enough. Ooh, fancy. Enough chit chat about what happened this week, even though nothing happened. And let's get to today's topic, which is COVID lockdown or COVID in general.
Yeah, in general, Corona.
Corona.
Sorry. 武汉肺炎.
Oh, so you are allowed to call it almost like the Chinese flu, but if we do it, it's evil.
No, you can also do it.
Apparently, if we call it the Chinese flu, it's evil, or like the Chinese virus. It's bad.
They would think it's rude, but we don't think it's rude.
Okay, I guess it's Americans, and they're always like hurt about everything.
I don't know. They're just weird.
Okay, but Ben doesn't call it for those who don't speak Chinese. He doesn't call it the Chinese virus. He calls it like the Wuhan virus.
Yeah, Wuhan virus.
Wuhan virus. But yeah, so the reason we're talking about this today is actually because, is it this week? What is it today? So it's the 15th. No, like last week. So last Friday. No, like last week. Anyways, I am celebrating my 1 year lockdown work from home anniversary these couple days, because I've actually been doing this whole working from home for a whole year.
Amazing.
Which is, I mean, it's just like crazy because when it started, everyone was like, oh, this is just gonna be like 2 or 4 weeks and then it's all gonna be over. Now here we are 12 months later.
I hope it's going to be longer. I love home office.
You just love that I'm home all the time.
Yay!
But yeah, so I figured we're going to talk a little bit of our experience because they're very different experiences. One's because, I mean, the main difference is just like, here we have a lockdown and I lived through many months of lockdown without you before you were allowed to join me. And in Taipei, you didn't have a lockdown, but you still had things that happened due to COVID. So I figured, why not? Because I think Taipei in their reaction to or like Taiwan in reaction to the virus was a little bit ahead of us. And I know you made a lot of notes. So I figured, why don't you get started with like kind of give a timeline of what happened in Taipei?
Okay, timeline. 2019, the first case in Wuhan, that was around like November or something. And then from December, we start to test any flights that's from Wuhan. In January, we have our first case that's tested positive. And since January, we blocked all the flights from the region.
Quick question in between. Was this the first case of someone who came from outside of Taiwan and then was tested positive?
Yes.
Or the like first case of like, okay, so it wasn't the first case of like in Taiwan infection?
No, the first case from outside of Taiwan.
That came into Taiwan and got tested positive. Okay.
Exactly. So from then on, January 2020, we banned all the flights from the region. Yeah, in February, we blocked the flights maybe like 95% from China. Only the flights from Beijing or Shanghai and Hong Kong can be allowed, I guess. I don't really remember. But yeah, in February, we banned pretty much 95% of the flight from China already. In January, we already stopped mask exporting. So we can only be selling our masks in Taiwan, which then we have this, panic that everyone's buying masks.
I mean, same here. Huh?
Yeah, so like, and then the government says, okay, you can only buy 3 pieces every time per person. And then, but that's still not working. So then our government bought out all the producing lines in later January. And then in February, we can only buy face masks with our health insurance card. And then you can only buy 2 pieces per week. Yeah, and then but then in March, April, we managed to increase our producing lines, so we can buy maybe like 5 pieces per week or something. Yeah, is the mask. Anyone who travels to Taiwan, you have to be self-isolation for 2 weeks, and then they will be assigned for a cell phone, which the government can track you where you are and stuff like that, and they can call you 3 times a day to make sure that you are home and take your body temperature. And if anything happens, then we will also very fast know that something's wrong with you. From April, we have this, keep distance, social distance policy, and then you have to wear face mask everywhere when you are out. Also, I think March. Sorry, our timeline is very weird.
Mine will be better.
Yeah. In March, we banned all the flights from every country or something, I guess. Yeah, only if you have like a very proper reason to travel, then you can. But normally, you're just not allowed to, which is still not allowed till today, I think. I think today we opened only to some countries that's we see it's all right. For example, like Singapore, Australia, I think from this month we can start traveling. Like,
are you open to Japan? Do you know that?
I don't really know, but I think business related must be allowed. But other than that, if you're just traveling or visiting friends or something, that's not allowed, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also then you also have to have a negative test so you can enter the country. Yeah, and I think we have 250 days without any case, without anyone from outside or from inland. But then it's broke by this flight pilot, captain.
Oh, the pilot.
The captain. And then from then on, we have like little amount of cases.
So there was like one pilot who didn't really follow the regulations and then infected a couple people.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's it. Like bisher, like till today, I think we have like 990.
I googled it. You have 985 cases
in total.
In total until today. To put this in perspective, Germany until today has 2.5 million cases. Taiwan so far had 10 deaths, and Germany, according to Google, and today has 734 deaths. So I think with deaths compared to like the amount of cases is still fine. Yeah. But just the sheer number comparison of 2.5 million compared to 985. Yes, Taiwan is smaller than Germany.
We have 23 million people.
Yes, so it's a quarter of what Germany has. But those numbers are not a quarter.
But we are also an island, which is also easier make.
I think I agree. So like there are something. I mean, the majority of the things why it went better in Taiwan is simply because the Taiwanese handled it better.
Yeah, because we don't trust China.
You don't trust China, and like for example, MERS. Which sounds like man purse. But anyways, MERS, is that how you say it? Yeah. Hit Taiwan a lot harder. Like it never arrived to Europe. So back then you guys made a plan. Okay, what are we going to do when the next thing hits that is similar to that?
It's SARS, not MERS.
SARS? Yeah. Oh, it was SARS. But there's also MERS.
MERS is something else.
Oh, yeah, something. Oh, yeah, but you made the plan with SARS. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So with SARS, you guys made the plan because then you were like, okay, we don't want this to happen ever again. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, it worked this time. And I mean, how's that? You guys took it a lot more serious than we did.
Yeah, because once they found the first case in Wuhan, and then we already formed a special team only for this COVID-19 thing. Yeah, and then they start every policy and strategy one step by step.
And I mean, even here, when we had our first cases, still people were like, oh, it's not that bad. It's just like a flu.
Yeah, I think that also like because WHO said it's not like a crisis, not like international thing yet.
They said it's not a international health emergency, or like
exactly, which is not true.
they said we don't have to take it that serious. And I mean that they didn't like say from the very beginning it's a pandemic. I mean, obviously they can't. I mean, you have to have certain numbers to consider it a pandemic.
Yeah.
But still, they said like, oh no, China has it under control. Everything is fine. But yeah.
I mean, even if China is already under control, but the virus already spread it out.
No.
So then everyone should be. And then we have to wear our masks very often already, because in Taiwan, if we have a cold or something, just a tiny amount, we will just wear a mask if we go out.
I mean, that's the thing. For once, which I think is still ridiculous until this very day, at the very beginning, when people were like, oh, maybe we should wear masks, the WHO and the German government said wearing masks, it's useless. Like, there's no impact on it spreading or anything. Which, in retrospective, they probably said because they wanted to avoid panic buying, but it was already too late because the Chinese already panic bought.
Exactly. By the time you can buy face masks, or you want to buy face masks, it's already bought out by the Chinese citizen.
Yeah. Or like the Chinese who lived in Germany, for example.
So crazy.
And because that was already before anything happened in Germany. Because I remember I flew to Seattle was the beginning of February, and I wanted to buy a face mask, not because of COVID, but because like in general I like to wear face masks when I'm flying, and I couldn't get any in Munich. Like, it was impossible. So
February,
forget it. Yeah. But anyway, so like a little bit on like the German timeline. So like the thing is like no one took it serious. I remember when you first told me, oh, buy masks and blah blah blah, and they're like, sorry, I can't buy any. And also didn't take it that serious. And I think I was one of the first people to actually wear masks when I went outside, and people looked at me like I'm crazy. But then stuff got more serious. And I mean, I think the most important dates are, it's like March 13th, we closed all schools and kindergartens. And I remember this day very clearly because at my job, I work with schools and kindergartens, and I like live tweeted, so to speak, or live chatted with my colleagues.
My vacation starts.
No, in my head I was like, oh, my vacation starts. But like there was like, oh, now Bavaria closed all the schools. Now Berlin closed all the schools. Now Baden-Württemberg closed all the schools and all of that stuff. And then on March 22nd, our first hard lockdown started. When everything but, like the essential stores was closed. And I think that's also when like the whole mask mandate started and everything. And like my first lockdown, I really enjoyed my first lockdown. But I also always said like, oh, I'm made for lockdown.
Yeah, you are.
I am. I hate people.
Yeah.
And
sunlight. Or
and
going
sunlight
out.
or going out.
Or
so
just
it was like,
fresh air. He doesn't like that.
But still, like at the beginning of the lockdown, I was like, oh no, now it's lockdown. Even though nothing about my daily life changed other than I didn't go to work anymore. I was like, oh no, I have to do something. So actually what I started doing at the very beginning, I started what I think most people did. I tried to make my own sourdough starter, which failed horribly.
And trying again now.
But it's working very well.
This time. What's his name again?
Did we give him a name?
I thought you did.
No, I said people do give it a name. I have not decided on a name yet. But,
Okay.
I also started breathing exercises and meditation in the morning, but I only did that for a week and then I got bored. And I did yoga, but I only did that for, I think, also like 2 weeks and then I got bored. And that was mainly what I, like my first lockdown experience. But it was like, to me, it was amazing because I was like, I didn't have to find excuses anymore to not meet people. And I was like, oh, sorry.
All right. As if you ever find any excuse, you just say you don't want to.
I know, but it's still, even though I'm very comfortable now with telling people I don't want to.
It's a slice of bad feeling.
Yeah, it's still a little bit awkward. But there was like, oh, sorry, Corona.
No, like we never had any lockdown. And our theater, our cinema, our museum, our everything just runs just like normal. Yeah. Because like even we have like cases, but it's already like maybe 98% of them is from overseas. It's not really from inland.
But also you guys were so good with also in general like wearing masks and everything. But I think you see the same see the same thing in Japan.
Yeah.
or like
in Korea,
in
just
Korea.
generally in Asia.
Yeah, because like people are so used to wearing masks, even without COVID. It's like, oh, I have a cold, I'm wearing a mask because like courtesy, and I'm looking after people.
Yeah, but I think also mainly because the air in Asia is just not good, so you just wear face mask very often. When you ride a scooter on the street, you just don't want to smell all those gas from the cars and stuff, and then you would just wear a face mask. Or you have plastic surgery, you don't want people to see, you just wear a face mask. It's just super common. Or you have a very bad day, you don't want to smile, just wear a face mask, because smiling is essential in Asia. So yeah, it's just
Also, what I've also heard from like a couple of women actually is like, oh, I didn't want to wear makeup, so then
wear a face mask.
wear a face mask, and then they wear like big glasses, and then they're just like, okay, so I don't have to wear makeup.
Yeah. It's very trendy.
But yeah, I mean, but I have to admit, even though, how I said, I think I'm made for lockdowns and not meeting people. I mean, I was completely alone because you weren't here yet. And I think then when everything started to slowly reopen, which according to my fancy little notes here was in May, like I think like the end of May, like, like then the restaurants reopened and the hotels reopened and everything.
Okay.
And then I did note, like, and then I like, met with friends and we went for a walk, or like we went outside to have lunch or something like this. And then I did notice, I did miss social interactions.
Yeah, I mean, so far now as well.
No, I'm fine actually. I have you. I don't care.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
But,
No, I think I came back around when? August?
end of August, yeah.
I came back around end of August, and I was super impressed and super surprised that like keeping social distance actually working in Germany. Because in Taipei, although we say we have to keep social distance for 1 to 1.5 meters, but it never really works because it's just so crowded and you cannot really have the luxury. Huh?
Does it work here?
Yes, like
You've been to the supermarket with me, right?
no. The first week I'm here, like we went to like IKEA or supermarkets. People really keep distance between each other, and I was like, wow, that's very impressive. Because we just, in Taiwan, you sort of got spoiled at some point. You're like, it's very difficult to get corona, so we don't really have to care about those discipline, which is like also why our number got a little bit higher now, 900.
It's like 10 people got it. The numbers are so high.
Yeah, because people got spoiled,
I mean, I think now our numbers are increasing again, not because people get spoiled, but people get bored and annoyed. Like people do not want to social distance anymore. And even though now, like I remember when we did the hard lockdown at the very beginning, and then the numbers went down, and then everything reopened, and then the numbers went up again. So we went into like what they call soft lockdown at the beginning of November, and then hard lockdown again in December.
Yes.
But even with the hard lockdown, the numbers are hardly going below like 8,000, 9,000 new cases a day.
So crazy. I don't know what's going on.
I think it's because people don't social distance in like privately.
Oh, they still have like private parties.
Exactly, that's the thing. Like they still meet with a lot of people. I mean, if you've seen it when we went outside, like went to like for a walk in the park.
Yeah, true.
And then you have like all the like parents with their kids on the playground, and there's no 1.5 meter or 6 feet distance between them. They're just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And like you hear it like in our building how like many visitors some of our neighbors have. Constantly.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the problem.
Yeah, it's just very difficult, I think. I don't know. I think that's the difference between like Western culture and the Asian culture.
And I mean, another thing,
Just in Asia, we are all about community.
Exactly. Like you are more like, okay, I can like put the good of the others in front of like before my own well-being.
Yeah, like this, we are in this boat together. So yeah.
But I mean, like the other thing I always think is very impressive in Asia and Taiwan, or same in Hong Kong and Korea and China and Japan and all of that stuff. the whole when you come back from outside the country and the quarantining, right?
Ah, yes.
And it's like they're very high regulation. What you said, like you have the cell phone, or I've seen videos of people in like Japan or Hong Kong or also Korea where they had like little bracelets,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
that's how they were tracked, and they had to like go to a hotel room, like go around the hotel room, so the bracelet realizes, okay, how big is the area you're allowed to be in,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah.
stay there for 2 weeks. And if you did this in Europe or in like let's say the west, like Europe,
Yeah.
North America,
Yeah.
even with the mask, like people are already like freaking out, be like, this is a dictatorship, like this is like Nazi Germany. So like we never had, like we had that when people came back, we said, okay, please go into quarantine for 2 weeks.
But that's like, please go into
Yes,
quarantine.
like they had to trust the people, and there was nothing where they could say,
Yeah.
okay, please.
Because we have to be assigned to a hotel, and then you have to pay yourself. So there are different classes you can choose, and then of course they will come along with food and stuff. But still, like that's a certain kind of amount of money that you have to pay, and then people still do it because it is the rule. You have to follow it. Otherwise, this whole situation is going to get any. It's not going to get any better.
And I mean, there's still people that don't really like. I have colleagues. I'm not gonna name any names. That while we still had the hard lockdown in Germany, went on vacation.
Yeah, that's also something I don't understand.
No, and that pisses me off so much because, like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen my family in 3 months because of all of this happening.
Exactly.
And then you, little B, are deciding, oh, I want to go to Mexico. And then the excuse is like, because, I wanted to go for the last 1.5 years, but Corona happened. And it was like my graduation, wedding, first job, whatever gift. I was like, so what?
Yeah, so irresponsible.
Like, I also got married and we did not go on our honeymoon.
Yeah. And also about this Mallorca flight you just mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah,
It's so very ridiculous.
So a little bit of context. So for anyone who isn't from Germany, or the other, like the Germans probably know it. Germans love going to Mallorca, which is a Spanish island. They always say it's like the most southern German island. Just because the Germans love going there, I feel like the majority of people living there are German, but whatever. And we are have Easter holidays, so it's a 4-day weekend, and also school holidays. It's the beginning of April. Mm-hmm. And the travel warning for Mallorca was just lifted, I think, end of last week. And then all of the flights to Mallorca over Easter were fully booked. So
In
that
like 2 hours.
probably something like this. And then German Wings, which is like the cheap version of Lufthansa, then scheduled an additional 300 flights to Mallorca in that period of time.
So crazy.
So that people could do their freaking Mallorca vacation. And I can already tell you, people are going to come back, people are not going to quarantine, and the numbers are going to go up again. Like crazy.
Oh,
and they're already going up, and we're not even out of lockdown.
Oh, well, we just make everyone goes to Mallorca and lock them there.
It's like we send like everyone to Mallorca and be like, oh, sorry, no more flights back to Germany.
Mm-hmm. And you can just, be contagious there.
You can just infect each other.
Yeah, and die.
Hey, this is crazy. But I also remember before the first lockdown started, I think it was like the weekend before the lockdown started, I had my bachelor's weekend with Coco. Hi, Coco.
Which I haven't done yet.
Yes, you still have to do this. And I remember, I think we just did it the week. It was just like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Saturday, we were sitting at breakfast. And then Coco was like, oh, I just read, like, we're going to go into lockdown. Everything's going to close. We still need to buy some stuff. And I was like, okay, calm down. It's not going to be that bad, and it didn't come as bad as she said, because like the news she read was also like, the supermarkets closed, which is ridiculous. But like, if I just remember, like back then, it was like, we're sitting in a cafe or like in the breakfast area of a hotel, and then a week later, everything was shut down, and that's just so crazy. It went from like everyone is pretending like nothing is wrong, nothing is happening, everyone was just like living their normal lives to like, okay, everything shut down. Because if we don't, everyone's going to die.
So crazy. So crazy. I can't really imagine that because everything is normal in Taiwan.
I mean, that's also, I'm so jealous when I see like Ting and Chris videos.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. And they're like, oh, we're going, like strawberry stuff.
Yeah.
Like
collecting or playing baseball.
And other stuff.
Watching movie, museum. So all kinds of stuff.
And we're just like, ooh, we met a friend on the weekend. Scandalous.
Only a friend.
Only one friend. But you never know. Maybe we will get vaccinated.
I hope so. I mean, because I don't really want to experience that kind of flight ever again. Because when I fly here, it's so fucking crazy. I wore, like, how do you call that? Like examination suits.
Like you wore a whole bodysuit.
A whole bodysuit and a goggle and a mask all the time. And then even a shoes cover and gloves.
But you have to be honest, you did it a little bit extreme.
I do, because it was very scary to me, because I'm flying from a very safe country to a
very unsafe country.
Exactly. And I didn't even go to the toilet. And then I thought, why I didn't go to the toilet?
By the way, this is a 13-hour flight we're talking about.
But still, me.
No, I'm saying, like, no, like, even you, like, I'm just saying, like, how, that they know how intense it was that you didn't go to the toilet during the whole flight.
Never.
It's
like, no once. I didn't eat. I didn't take off my face mask.
And we're the kind of people who normally go pee, like, every 30 minutes on a flight.
Exactly. I need to pee now, actually.
We are those annoying bitches who constantly make you get up because...
Yeah, or, like, before you leave the house, you have to pee first.
Yeah.
That kind of people.
And then like 10 minutes after we leave the house, we're like, I kind of have to pee. But anyways, we're getting like...
Yeah, and so I just don't want to... I mean, yeah, I was a little bit like dramatic, but still, like, I don't want to have the fear, the...
I mean, so...
I think that's the thing, the fear of unknown,
and you never know how it's going to be when you get it. It could be that we already had it and we're immune. You never know.
Exactly, so...
But I still would like to get through all of this without getting it. Knock on wood. But... and I also would like to go to Taiwan at some point without having to be in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But...
or just like travel normally again, which is, I don't think it's going to be normal. Or a new normal.
I think once you're vaccinated, you can travel pretty much. I mean, pretty much every country is going to be like, okay, you have the vaccine.
Yeah, these vaccine passports.
Yeah.
And
I mean, now we're hitting, we're still in our second lockdown. I'm doing other things that people did in the first lockdown. How I said, I'm retrying my sourdough starter, which is working out great so far.
We're trying a lot of things.
And I really got into, can I say I really got into gardening? No. But I'm trying to grow a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to grow my own avocado, my own basil, my own mint. Then what else did we make? We made 2 kinds of zucchini we're trying to grow.
Yeah.
Cucumber, salad, sunflowers.
And we have like DIY projects. You have podcast, YouTube videos.
What's our DIY projects?
I don't know.
We're still trying to find DIY projects.
The Kitchen Island.
The Kitchen Island we're never going to make, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we just, like, we tried new things in this lockdown, which is also very nice.
Which is nice, yeah. I mean, we're keeping ourselves busy.
Yeah. Enjoying the moment.
With this amazing podcast. So, I think then this is the end of today's episode, which was very good, very informative, or maybe just an excuse for us to talk about how amazing Taiwan is with everything.
Yes!
I also want to give a shout out to by now, I think it's only like 12 or 13 people that are still regularly listening to our podcast.
Ooh,
we
Peter?
love you. We appreciate you. Peter's not 13 people, but yes. If we mention names, there are next time. But yeah, special shout out to my brother Peter.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Who is... Wait, is today's birthday? No, we still have time. Who's always listening and commenting. Coco, who's always listening and commenting. Zefta, who is always listening and commenting. And I hope I didn't offend anyone by not mentioning
老师啊, Amelia.
But anyway, shout out to all of our 13 fans.
Love you.
We love you very much. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and
Yeah.
learned a little bit about our little lockdown experience
How bad Germany is.
and how amazing Taiwan is. We hope that you will join us again next week for another episode. And until then, 再见.
Bleibt gesund. Auf Wiedersehen.